more time. One more time. The flying.
1, 2.
Married an angel 60 years ago. I began to take an interest in things heavenly.
That's good.
So I've sort of fussed around with astronomy and mostly cosmology, the origins of the universe. And so when I realized a couple of years ago that there was going to be an eclipse that would go through this area, I called Greg and I said, I think you and Cindy should hold a party for the eclipse. And he kind of, hemmed and hawed and didn't quite say yes. I said, what's the problem? And he says, well, I'm one of the owners of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball team, and I don't think it would look good if I were hosting a party for the Eclipse team. And I said, no, they're not a baseball team. That was confusing for you, wasn't it?
It was, I could.
But he did say yes, and here we all are. It's just great. And so the interesting thing to me is how they figure out when there's going to be an eclipse. In the 5,000 years from 2000 BCE till 3000, that 5,000-year period, 888 eclipses, solar eclipses will happen. They know exactly when and where to pass. And contrary to what Marjorie Taylor Greene says, this was not worked out in political terms. This was actually worked out for the Chaldeans, part of the Babylonian Empire, in 900 BCE, before the Common Era, before Christ. And they knew, after 3 years of recording eclipse activity, they knew the formula for how to know when it would happen again. Now, we know it more precisely now and from different mathematical works, but basically they discovered that an eclipse happens every 18 years, 8 months, 11 hours or something like that. But not all on the same sequence, because then we'd have one every 18 years. No. There are, this is crazy, there are 140 tracks, 180 tracks called SARS. This whole thing is about Saros, not your Democratic opponent, Soros. Saros. And these Babylonians figured out not just one sequence for eclipses, but ultimately what turned out to be 180 different sequences. You following this? So that today's eclipse is part of the 139 eclipse sequence out of the 180. Nobody's taking notes here. You're never going to remember this. Oh, thank you. You're never going to remember this stuff.
Good job.
And in any one of these SARs, a SAR is one of these sequences, which can last anywhere from 12 to 15 generations. And within that sequence, the eclipses are all spaced that same 18 hours and 18 years and some days and some months. And we're on the 139th SAR, which means the next one on this sequence will be 18 years and blah, blah, blah. But the next eclipse you can see is over here on SAR 140. You follow this?
So they repeat a path, but there's 180 paths.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
I find all that actually more interesting than Marjorie Taylor Greene's analysis. Stories about all of this. It is incredibly complex, much more than I can possibly review for you. But it does mean that there's an eclipse somewhere in that 5,000 years, 81,000 eclipses. Exactly how many seconds we're going to be in totality? Here we're going to be 3 minutes, sort of on the dot. But if you move a little bit north or south of here, I mean like across the lake or up to the airport, then it'll be a little bit less, a little bit more. It's just astonishing. I was going to show you that magazine. I guess it's in the other room. But they've worked this out to such detail that in one sense all the mystery is gone. And in another sense, it's really remarkably mysterious that we can know these things and do these things.
Hey,
So,
Dennis, should we all go? Let's go in.
what?
No!
Should we go in?
We don't want to be a flip. We don't care about a little bit of it.
No, it should be an
You have to pay attention and see if
Hard to believe this is what it looks like. 3:18 p.m.
Maybe we could have had fireworks. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. There's fireworks. There are fireworks down here, Greg.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. You guys love it. Look at the lights are on. Look at that, Bonnie. See it? I can't believe the lights are on.
I know, isn't it cool?
Wow. Everything's kicked on.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like somebody had a dimmer switch.
Yeah,
And
and
it
it
was just like,
just went immediately.
And here we are 2 minutes later. Unbelievable. All of a sudden the lights are that had turned on automatically are off. We now see who we actually invited here today. Like, wow, how did you guys show up? Yeah. Amazing. Piper says it. It's over.